it was just a monsoon rain actually. Uh, 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 the, the flow of the wind that comes past and then just stayed around in Taiwan, and it's very warm and brought a lot of humidity to Taiwan. So that's why it brought a lot of rain, especially to the mountain regions. And then because it's not like a typhoon. If it's a typhoon, we will have known, and there will be forecast, and then everyone will be prepared. But this one, it was just like a normal rain, but rain so heavily that many people was caught unprepared, and then so it caused a lot of floodings, and it actually brings a lot of reflection how we should always, in the usual days, be prepared at all times, always be sincere and pious. Just like what Master shared this morning, how the king, how the king is always, how the king will not only raise the army when the war begins, but in normal days, we will have soldiers patrolling. In the same way, we have police, we have our firemen always patrolling, always guarding our home and make sure everything is safe. So this kind of protection and awareness is in everyday terms, every second, every minute to guard our mind. So in the same way, we should always be sincere and pious, and always be prepared for a disaster time, and keep our drains cleared, and always and so such things will not happen. So it's really a reminder to all of us that every second, every minute, we should always be sincere and pious, and always be prepared. And very quickly yesterday, the coordination center was set up in Hualien, and everyone was ready. And I think Brother Joe, I'm not sure whether he slept well yesterday night, because he slept at a coordination center, because once such a coordination center is set up, the pure practitioners, the male pure practitioners, we will take turns at, at night to camp at the coordination center, just in case there was any immediate situation, and then we will call in the morning to each of the chapter and our hospitals, to make sure and to see if everything is okay, and then gather all the information. And when Master finished the sermon at 6:20, when she walked down, immediately Brother Joe was there to update on what was the top, what was the most the news, update on the news, and then and Master will be able to share on the 7 o'clock now during the volunteer assembly. So this is how a coordination center is like. So that's to update everyone, and let's all be sincere and pious. I hope everything's okay. Okay, and then let's enter the summary proper. So we are now 60 days into peaceful practices. We are almost at the end of the chapter, at the very last paragraph already, and after which is the short verses, and then this chapter will have ended. And yes, we are at the fourth peaceful practices. That is on the peaceful practice of the vow that leads us to where we are to go, and what should our vows be, where to go. Of course, I think sometimes I find myself hard to follow, as in like which part of the sutra is talking about the body, and then which part is about the mouth, and then which part is on the mind, and then now it's the vow where which part is really talking about the vow, because Master talks about many things. So which part is about the vow? Just to recap for myself, and also I thought I would share with everyone what I found. Indeed, what Brother Joe has shared last week on the supernatural, the transcendental powers, the spiritual powers, and also about how many people or the capacity of the sentient beings are just not yet ready. And so even if the Buddha was to share the Lotus Sutra or the Wondrous Dharma, sentient beings are not capable of receiving, and so do not listen, do not know, and do not realize. And since you do not realize, then you do not inquire, do not ask questions. And even if you ask questions, we do not believe in the answer. And even we have answer, we do not understand and we do not practice it. So it's the sixth kind of obstacle that sentient beings are just not yet ready. But even in that situation, the vow is we should continue. So how does it go? For day O, I forgot to change. This week's, oh man, I forgot to translate the English. So for this week's summary, I'll be talking about the vow, peaceful practices, and that metaphor of the king. So let's go back again. So what is this vow? This vow, peaceful practices. If we are to look at this portion of the sutra, the Chinese version, the English version is here. So it says how the bodhisattvas, for bodhisattvas that make the will to uphold the Lotus Sutra in the future, in the evil era, what they should be thinking in their mind is that I should be thinking that this person, that means these people that have not have made a great error in the sense that they haven't, those that have not willing to follow or listen to the Lotus Sutra, they have made a great error because the past Kamran has been using expedient means to preach the law according to the capacity of the sentient beings. But people often do not listen. And when they do not listen, they do not even listen. Even if they listen, they do not understand, they do not know. Even if they know, they do not realize. If they realize, they do not inquire. If you do not inquire, the Buddha does not preach. And even if you ask a question and the Buddha gave the answer, we still do not believe. Even if we believe, we still don't really understand and still don't really know how to put it into practice in our life. So this is the kind of sixth obstacle. But the vow of the Bodhisattva is this, after this. But although these persons do not inquire about, do not believe, and do not understand the sutra, when I means the Bodhisattvas that have the will to uphold the sutra, Bodhisattva says that when I have attained Anuttara Sambodhi, I will employ my transcendental powers and the power of wisdom to draw them to me and lead them to abide in this law. So this is the kind of vow, the peaceful practices, the vow that the Buddha is trying to say. That such bodhisattvas, even they have the will, this is what they should think about. That even if sentient beings do not want to listen, even if they do not want to know, even if they do not realize, they don't even want to inquire, the vow is that the Buddha will always continue, no matter what. The Bodhisattvas will always continue. That when I have attained Anuttara Sambodhi, when I have realized the truth, then the Buddha or the Bodhisattvas will be such that they will use whatever strength they have, use all the skillful means, all the transcendental power, their spiritual powers, their spiritual strength, all the different ways to continue and persevere and always continue in helping sentient beings to realize, to understand the Dharma. So I think this is the kind of vow that you always continue no matter what. It's just like the master also said before, even if there's only just one person listening, she will preach. Even if there's no person listening, the Buddha will still preach because there's also the formless beings that's listening. So so this is the kind of vow to always continue, because when we have this kind of vow, there's no such thing as giving up, because we always continue, right? There's no giving up in that sense. So this is the kind of vow that Buddha is saying. And then the sutra continues by asking, the Buddha actually asked Manjushri that why did we not hear about even the name of this sutra, Lotus Sutra? Why is it not even heard of? The name. And since the name is not even heard of, not to say upholding or even practicing listening and chanting on it, not to say that because we even heard about the name of this Lotus Sutra. Why is it so? Why is it that we have not heard it before? And so the Buddha gave a metaphor to explain that why is it that only then, after 42 years of preaching different kinds of sutras, that only now that Buddha gives the truth. And so we hear of this metaphor of a wheel-turning king. A wheel-turning king is like there's a king with a strong power able to change, or able to transform things. So it's like wheel turning. The wheel turns because of him, or means the society change, it works like clockwork works under this king. So it's like a powerful king wanting to subdue other petty rulers, other countries with might. But of course, all these small countries around does not really listen. Does not heed his commands, and then try to cause all the unrest, try to infiltrate and all those things, causing all the race, all the unrest. And so this wheel-turning king will have no choice but to call up his various troops, and then with the troops, the army try to conquer back the land. And when the troops are successful in a lot of distinction, and there's a lot of good work, a lot of success in this conquest. Of course, the king will be delighted. Delight in the conquest, delight in the success, delight in the success of the soldiers. And so then the king will naturally reward according to the merit of each soldier. You have done good work, more merit, a lot of jewels, a lot of houses and things, materials for you. And not for you, not a lot of merit, so 1 cow for you, but according to merit, so on and so forth. And then, but at the very end, the king would never give his jewel on the top of his head, in the head. If he's good to give it, everyone will be very surprised, and then, what? The king is giving his jewel? Everyone will be very surprised, and then and so. And well, this is a kind of metaphor. So when I listen to Master sharing this story, I can feel a little kind of awkwardness when Master shared it. To see a monastic Master sharing about troops, raising army, fighting and conquest other countries, just feels weird. but it's actually a pretty interesting metaphor, and Master uses this way to explain. Actually, this king, this wheel-turning king, refers to our heart, the true nature in our heart. That is like a king. But our heart and our thoughts is actually two different entities, right? Many a time we realize we hope we want to be a good person, but we just have a lot of evil thoughts, and all that affliction and worries coming into our brains. So we know that we cannot get angry, but the emotion just comes forward, very, very uncontrollable. Just like these petty rulers that that just doesn't want to listen to the wheel-turning king. In the same way, our thoughts are just like these monkeys. They just runs around and then uncontrollable, trying to infiltrate our heart, and then even make us thinking that is this really me, or is this I'm really this. I'm just doing what I want. I'm just following my heart. But actually, this heart itself is just desires. I'm following my desire and not really my heart. So all these desires, these thoughts, are like these pet rulers. They just come out uncontrollable. That even if we know that it's not right, but they just come up. And so Buddha gave us a lot of skillful means, a lot of different ways to try to help us to control our emotions. And that's like all the Jing Zi, all the Jing aphorisms the Master given to us, that pops up in our brain like a weapon. That when the bad thoughts come forward, one Jing aphorism will come up and say, getting angry is being crazy for a short while, or getting angry is putting others' mistakes to torture ourselves, so this kind of word these words will bring forward when the bad thoughts when we tend to get angry, and it's like a weapon, like a soldier summoned by the wheel-turning king, to try to conquer and defeat these evil thoughts. And then when we are successful in using these the master teaching in controlling our own emotions, that oh no breathing 10 times, 10 seconds, that we really control our emotions. Then of course we'll be happy. They're happy. Yes, we really done it, and then we are successful in controlling our emotions and seeing achievements. We'll feel joyful, of course, and that joyful feeling is just like how the Wilsoning King will be joyful also when the soldier is successful in a conquest. And yes, in the same way, we are successful in our conquest to control our mind, and then we'll reward ourselves with no, by eating candies or eating cookies. No, we don't do that. I mean, we reward ourselves. For me, I reward myself with some, eating more and then a bit. But of course, we don't do that. We reward ourselves with peacefulness in the mind, and the joy in the mind, the samadhi, the deep contemplations that we finally realize, and then in the future we are not affected by these enemies anymore. We are rewarded with these peacefulness. But this all sounds good, but it's not there yet. It's not there yet. We may be able to control our but this jewel in the king's hair is not given easily. And why? It's I'll go into this later. I think it's trying to defeat all the evil thoughts. It has always been about ourselves. Always only been about ourselves. Self, controlling our emotions, liberating us from the cycle of birth and death. Throughout this whole discussion, we have not been talking about helping others, or even when our mind is full of afflictions, we still hope to help others. I mean, this kind of vows, we do not talk about it here. And so that kind of vow, that kind of is the jewel. But when our heart is still full of this kind of afflictions that we cannot accept this jewel, Buddha have no choice but to just help us eliminate these enemies first, to clear our heart, to purify it first, so that we can receive this jewel. So this is a kind of metaphor. This is the metaphor, and then Master actually uses in one in the Volunteer Assembly 2 days ago on the 1st June. Master shared that one day in history, that is in 1999, 1st of June, the citizens went to Kosovo because of a kind of civil war that's happening over there. And that country was actually Yugoslavia before. But if you see the timeline below, he has went through from 1860 period of time. He has went through a lot of conquest, a lot of conflicts, and in between he has been Yugoslavia, a united one single sort of empire. But then when close to 1990s, there was a series of a lot of civil wars. Many of the places wanted to become independent, including the familiar country that we all know now, Serbia, where we went to help refugees, and Bosnia, where we have volunteers from there coming into Serbia to help. And all this sounds good, but when we know the history, it's actually really amazing, because the civil wars it's like the 1990s. That's only less than 20 years before, and then they have been enemies. And what's saying about the Kosovo War? That's very recent. That's 1999, and then the Bosnian War. That's 1992 to 1995, and this war was in between Bosnian and Serbian. how the Bosnia has been wanting to become independent from the Yugoslavia, but the Serbian doesn't want them, doesn't allow that. So they enter into war, and then the Serbian was winning, and then they actually had a massacre, killing a lot of Bosnians, and then so on and so forth. And this war is just 20 over years before. You would we can believe, we can understand that almost everyone in Bosnia or in Serbia, the young adults, would have this memory in their mind that this war has happened. Serbian was their enemy. Bosnian was the enemy. That no, this fight is in between them. It must still be very clear in their mind. But this is what we are seeing now in Serbia, how these Bosnian volunteers are also entering the country. Let me show the video. Give me a second. You can play. Give me a second. I want to show you this video because I think it's really amazing. Okay. So I think it's taking up too much resources. My computer couldn't run. Okay, but what you see is that now the Bosnians are coming in. We have many volunteers from Bosnia coming in to help Serbians together with our Chinese volunteers. And now, before, it was Bosnian versus Serbian, and now it was Bosnian with Serbian, with Syrian, with Chinese, with Taiwanese, with everyone, all connected by great love. We have all these volunteers behind, they're all from Bosnia. Now in Serbia, with Chinese helping Syrians. And I didn't have the photos, but they are now training themselves because they're coming back to Taiwan for the following one training camp, and they have been practicing themselves how to bow to the Buddha, and then how to use the chopsticks, how to walk together in two lines. So you see, this is just amazing how Master has united us all with great love. So we've been talking about this metaphor about how the king trying to use his might to tame all the petty rulers. Master doesn't even use that. He uses just great love, and then united two countries, in fact many countries that have been in war just in 20 years. That's really amazing, and of course many people were amazed how we can actually have Bosnian Syrians, everyone sitting together in one place eating together. That was just amazing. And that's great love. That's just because of great love. So you see the power of great love. Once I was talking about the strength, the power of love. That's the power of love. How it's actually able to unite everyone, all sentient beings together, just by great love. And when I think about this, to think about how the king does not give the jewel easily, but gives joy. So you see the difference between giving joy and giving jewel. No, we often have an aim or vow that we hope all sentient beings can alleviate from suffering. We hope to give joy selflessly to all beings. 娱乐拔苦，一切众生离苦得乐。We've been thinking about this. We hope everyone can receive joy, and that was one of the greatest vow. That was one of my greatest vow in my mind. That I hope all sentient beings can be enjoyed. But then, when after reading this metaphor and this chapter, suddenly there was something hit in my head that it's very different. Giving joy, giving joy just brings people into liberation, into joy, but not into Buddhahood, not yet. And when I think about it, when I was thinking about this, I was imagining that yes, sometimes, even myself, when I was helping with the teaching the youth groups, sometimes also feel that I couldn't share my thoughts in composition. I cannot share in fully my thoughts to some of the teachings because now you can really feel how they are not ready yet to hear about bodhisattva's path, how we should give selflessly, how we should not be affected by people's words. Many of the youth very easily get affected by what people say or what they put in their line or what they didn't put in their line. For example, we have a lot of youth that they were very affected when they post a message in line or in WhatsApp, and then you see the two ticks become blue. That means people have read already, but they didn't reply. Reading message but did not reply to them is very rude. And then they got very affected by all this. When I try to share that, please don't be affected by all this. Sometimes it's just very difficult for them to get out of that kind of emotion. And then so I have to try to think of ways to say that maybe sometimes we scroll through our lines or WhatsApp, we just tick through, but we didn't really read it, and so you will see the two ticks become blue. But actually the person actually has not read yet. So we have to think of ways, skillful means to try to calm down their mind, to calm down their emotions, so they do not they are not so emotional. But all these words is just not the same as the true the true thoughts in my mind that I wanted to share with them. It's just not the same. I couldn't share about how actually such things it shouldn't be things that should be worrying your mind, that should be occupying our mind. It shouldn't be occupying our mind with all this that the two things is blue. Why are we affected by these two blue things? But I cannot say that, and so that's the giving joy level. But then I realized that Master has almost always been giving the jewels to all of us, especially in the morning, 5:20, to always share that greatest truth to all of us. Of course, in her daily sermon, she may use this skillful means, and we can feel that she's using skillful means in her daily usual sermons. But most of the time, she has been giving us the jewel, and she always says, we are the first generation disciples, and how we should uphold, how we are all here to uphold the Dhamma lineage. She always gives us the jewel. She gives us teachings more than often when we are ready. When she knows we are capable of when we can tahan the difficulties and the difficulties entering the crowd. The Master will give us teaching how to disaster relief, how to go into difficult places, how to face situations every day. Master gives us such teaching. This is truly giving the jewels, and we have to keep asking ourselves: are we capable? Are we capable? Because Master always gives, or only gives when we are capable. And so we must keep asking ourselves: are we capable? Are we capable? And make sure we are ready to receive these two jewels. Master doesn't just give us one; he gives us two. Buddha's heart is our heart. Master's mission is our mission. The two seeds that will generate more and more seeds, a very firm and solid seed. The Master is giving us, all of us, the two red seeds. Buddha's heart is our heart. Master's mission is our mission. I think this has been the jewel Master has always wanting to give us. Are we capable of receiving, or are we still troubled with our own afflictions and worries, and then still have to trouble Master to give us teachings to help tame our afflictions, to help to tame our mind? Or are we able, or is our returning king in our hearts able to tame the enemy already? By ourselves, are we already able? Can we use all the teachings that Master has taught us for 40 over years? same amount of years. Buddha has taught for 40 over years. Master has taught for 40 over years too. And before teaching a lot of things to foreigners to help us in our mind. In the same way, are we already capable of? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we capable of training our heart? And are we ready to receive the wondrous teaching now, the Lotus Sutra, and the vow, the greatest vow of the Bodhisattva? Are we ready? So this is my sharing here. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you. I'll pass the mic back to Sister Jing. Any sharing from the globe from everyone? Thank you so much. Sorry.
Hello, good morning. And Brother Yoping for the wonderful sharing. Today we have a sharing from Sri Dhammasara by Brother Orange or Wei Chen. I think he's the youngest our youngest AV volunteer in this group today. But of course, at the same time, we heard today at Kapong, Jing there is also another young youth volunteer, a Qing helping. So we are so glad that we can see more and more youth joining us as well. Okay, maybe I share a bit on this Brother Orange affinity. Actually, since last year, we have started talking to some Qing about this Dharma class. We hope if the university students also can join us to hear Master's sharing. Sorry. Okay. At the same time, we also have spoken to some Tzu actually 3 Tzu to be specific. 2 of them are my sons, but they still don't have the ability to join. But this Orange are my eldest son's friends. He joined us surprisingly last year. I didn't expect him to turn up, but he just turned up. Okay, that was the first, I think, course. The second course at that point of time last year at Sri Dhammasara, the 2 AVs, Sister Lily and me. So each time when we do the connection at 6:30, we will be missing the sharing session at our center. Each time after the Chinese Qin there will be a sharing, a master's teaching by some senior sisters here. So we would miss those sessions. At that point of time, I was thinking, I was hoping, if only there could be someone who could help on the AV system, so we could also join the Chinese group sharing. I think Buddha heard our prayers. At the same time, so just nicely, Brother Orange came to our rescue. He came to help us with the AV. He came by himself. We did not fetch him. So, okay, let us hear what makes him come here and what attracted him to keep staying since last year until now. And over to you, brother.
Sister Xiu Qing, it's Xiu Qing Shigu. Good morning to Master. Good morning to Master, Hualien Shifu, Brother Yu Ping, and everyone who's watching the Dharma. My name is Tong Wei Chen, or as most of you all know me as Orange. I'm 17 years old currently, attending my last year of high school. A little bit of story here. I'm currently with Tzu, which is, you can see from the badge here, which is the teenagers group of Tzu. Last year, I get to experience going to Taiwan with my Tzu friends. In Taiwan, I learned a lot about the world and the story of Master and her disciples. It turned my view on many things. So before going to Taiwan, Xiu Qing Shigu did ask me to help her with her PA systems, as I've had some experience with it during my time with the teenager volunteers group. At that time, I was quite hesitant. But after going to Taiwan, I decided to to try it. I told myself, why not? So I decided to try it out. During my first session, I've actually realized that learned more by I've learned more in here than I do in like the regular C's class. I was like, wow, now I finally understand what Master has been trying to tell us. So after that session, I told myself, I need to make my time even more useful. I've got to come every single time I can. So that's what have been driving me here. All right, so some people might wonder if I'm a bit feel out of place here. Actually, I don't really feel out of place. But actually, in my first session, I felt a bit lonely because in my first session, I was like a bit weird because I was like the only one. And then after that, I felt actually it was a bit more welcoming and it was a bit more welcoming and a bit more friendly. And now I actually felt like this is actually all right for me. So some people wondered about the fatigue. Usually waking up so early to join the session, to me it's actually not much of a problem lah. Because usually around school time, I also wake up around that early time, like 5 o'clock. So usually waking up for this session is not a big problem lah. So I've after joining masters and this English session, I've told myself that I need to come every single time I can to make my time even more useful. So yes, that's about it. Thank you. Thank you.
Brother Weichen. So sorry, you all may notice that the screen was like moving because we thought there was an echo in this room because there are two PCs being used at the same time. So we moved Brother Orange to another room. We are so grateful that he still can talk. Okay. Okay, now we wish to pass back to Brother Yo Ping Gan, Brother Orange and Brother Yo Ping. It's only about
Hi, good morning. 这时间来互惠吗？
感谢。
我们这边上。
哦，感谢。都不让我说明。好吧，你们直接讲吧。
对的。Okay. Hi, morning, sister. Sorry because of the sound system here is so bad, so we can't hear clearly. But I think there's a good is like you see we have teenagers to join Xun Xiang. I think this is a wonderful thing, which is Marx's hope that we will have a new generation, the young people to come and to listen to the Dharma so that we can have a pure world and future. So just now I just heard that the people, the children say want to fully utilize his time to do good things. So it's true. Once we listen to the right Dharma and the correct path, so we must no waste our time. So we fully utilize to do good things to help not just for us and for others. So this is what I can give a feedback for this sharing. Thank you. Okay, pass it to you, Ping.
Okay, thank you all so much. Thank you. I think that was Brother Orange just now. I hope it's am I right? Okay, start my video. Yes, yes. Sorry, didn't see Master just now. That was Brother. That was Master Wang. Okay. Thank you, Brother Orange, for the sharing. So happy to see someone close to my age coming forward to share. So you're not lonely. I know it's awkward sometime at the beginning, but no, we are not lonely. We are all here. Youths are great. So we must take up mission, okay? So let's do this together. So let's continue to the offline questions. Oh, 没有，他 pass 回来了。Okay, give me a second. We do something up.
screen. Okay, there. So oh, okay, sorry. We forgot which question we answered. But okay, let me begin with question 1. So the question was, I read the English books of Master and then have saw. Okay, everything's good. Okay, and I have read that it sometimes uses the Buddha and sometimes uses Buddhas. So which is which, and should we always use the Buddha or just Buddha, or Buddha with a small capital, or which is okay, which is better? So what we have discussed is that actually Buddha is, there's two ways you could refer, whether you are referring to the Shakyamuni Buddha that was here 2,500 years ago. If that was, if we are, sometimes when we refer to that specific Buddha, then we use the Buddha with a capital B. Just like the word general, say General Andy. The general is a title. It's a title, but when it's used together with your name, you'll use a capital G General Andy, with a capital G, or we call the general. So in the same way, when we refer to the specific Buddha, we use the Buddha. But if you are referring to,诸佛现前身, or for example, when we pray, we often pray to all the Buddhas. May all the Buddhas hear my prayers. Here we hear Buddhas. So here the Buddha does not just refer to Shakyamuni Buddha himself, but also all the Buddhas. In fact, all the Buddha natures in all of us. Then we won't use the Buddha, but of course, may all the Buddha. It's all the is not the specific the, but I hope you get what I mean. So here, so Buddhas we can refer to two, either the Shakyamuni Buddha himself or all kinds of Buddha. I think the understanding of this understanding is more important, that we know Buddha is really in us, that we all have the Buddha nature, and we can and we should see everyone around us as a Buddha. And when we see everyone as the Buddha, then we won't, then we use Buddha and not the Buddha. Yeah, in this kind of sense, the English is used this way. Okay, so that's mostly English grammar a little. The next question was, I'm curious about the offerings of fruits to Buddhas. Is it a practice in Tzu Chi? Okay, yeah. For this question, after our discussions, actually, we have to first understand that actually offerings, giving offerings, it's a usual or kind of a normal practice in the whole in whole Buddhism. The giving of fruits, the giving of flowers, or the giving of incense. They all each have different meanings. For example, giving of incense is hoping that the virtues is like fragrance that can permeate to all people. Giving of flowers is to understand, to remind ourselves that the world is impermanent, just like flower, it blooms, but only for a certain time it will wither. So it reminds us of impermanence. Fruits reminds us and shows our wishes that all good deeds could generate all good fruits, and that's our wishes. So we use fruits. So these are the kind of offerings that was given in Buddhism. This was the usual kind of things that was given as offerings. And in our abode in the Dadian, the small Jing, we will see the masters give such offerings also to the Buddhas. But of course, again, these offerings is just a gesture to show the sincerity, but such gesture of sincerity does not have to go through the material forms, the fruits, incense, or the flowers. Like Master always says, palms close together, a sincere heart is enough as an incense or as an offering. And in fact, Master always hopes that we give offerings in terms of action. In terms of action, putting Master's teaching, putting Buddha's teaching into action is the greatest offering that we can give to to the Master and to the Buddha. So so that's why of course we won't see offerings in front of all the Buddha statues, even in the abode or in our 30 chapters. We don't ask. We don't have the habitual practice of putting flowers or fruits in front of our 宇宙大觉者. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It's not really a fixed way of whether we have to do it or whether we don't have to do it. But most important is to understand why we do it and why at certain times we do it in order to show the gesture. For example, in Buddha being ceremony, of course, we will have a lot of different offerings. It's together with the ceremony, and so we do it. But it doesn't mean that other than the Buddha Day ceremony day, we does not do it, or I mean, we does not give offering, or we does not have the sincere heart in our mind. It's an everyday thing, every second thing. Every second we are offering our sincere and piousness through our actions, and I think that is more important. So so whether it's a practice in Tzu or not, I think yes, again, most important is the concept. Yep, I think that's okay. Okay. Master Huang would like to elaborate more on this. So give me a second.
Hi. As for my understanding, why a temple or like for our about 一般民间信仰, we will offering fruits to Buddhas or the sages or whatever. So as for what I know, it's like just like a skillful means to represent that the fruit is like we say 种瓜得瓜，种豆得豆. What seeds of plants you will get the result that you will harvest what you have. So it's just a way, a spirit meanings is like teaching. You do good thing, you will get a good feedback, or if you did bad, so you will have a reward of a bad thing. So it's just like 因果, cause and condition. And because as like in our Jing abroad, we have our 大殿, so we set up an altar. So when we will serve fruit to the Buddha, it's just because we set up an altar and we just like as a almost respect, reverence to the Buddha. This is not necessary in every Tzu Chi activities or in every Tzu Chi centers, or we have to every day to serve this fruits to the Buddha statue, as well as like just now Brother Yoping mentioned that it's better that we close our palm together and with our heart to offer and to remind the teaching of the Buddha and also from our master's teaching, because you're encouraging us instead of spend money to just like instead of the money that we buy fruit for just like to the Buddha, why not we use it to utilize this money to help those poor who are needy. So it's more work than spending those things. So this is what I can share for this. Thank you.
And now we have Sister Jing to answer the third question.
Morning, sister and brothers.
And so regarding the third question, is recently read of an article which speak of the sign of Yudan flowers. Is it true the flower depicts the presence of Buddha in this era? When the era of Dharma generating period by ending soon and replaced by the right Dharma period. Even though there are some signs to represent which age we are in, like when this world get turbid, when pollution more and more and disaster more and more, is the end of this the Dharma age. So there's a saying that when this Udambara flower showing that is showing that the right Dharma period is coming. So it is a represent that, but it's not definitely the definition of it. So such as if we plant this flower, so when this flower grows and show the flower, and the world is full of disaster, full of all the pollution, then we say the right period is coming. I think most of us will have doubt on that. So it's just saying that it's a sign, but it's not definitely they will be the definition of that. So the most important is how is it right now in this world. So if this world, most of people are doing the bad things, and I don't think the right Dharma period is coming. But in this world, if most of the people is doing the good deeds, and people can help each other and do all the good things to relieve the suffering of others, then we will say this is more meaningful to represent that the right Dharma period is coming. So I think that's why we can see our Master Chen, that what Master is doing to preach the Dharma, and also for the past 50 years, she devoted to relieve the human being suffering, then to preach the Dharma to let us can learn the Dharma to grow our wisdom. I think this is she's trying to use her strengths to kind of pull our direction. Right now, we kind of moving forward close and close to this end of this Dharma era. She trying to pull us back a little by little to let this the strength, the moving forward can be reduced and move back a little bit. So this is kind of the evil and the benevolence is like pulling each other. So which way has a more power, more strength on it, on that side, then we can pull this rope back a little bit. So it's the same thing. So if we can gather more and more people to join the benevolence side, and everybody help a master to pull this, you know, the trend back to the good side, then I think we can slow down the path, the move path to, you know, to the kind of go to the end of this Dharma era. So we would think, even though sign is a sign, but most important is we believe the true Dharma, we learn it and put into the practice, and everybody gather the good, the power together and move people from bad to the good, just like our volunteer going to the prison to transform those people from bad to good. Then we increase our power in our side. Then we can keep our work in the good work
And now moving to the end, and little by little to add up this all together, I think this is more meaningful way we will see it. And this is my sharing for this question. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Jing. And indeed. I once heard Master say before that when we have the right Dharma in our heart, that is the right Dharma period. It's just that our right Dharma period is super short, I think, super short. Well, maybe when 520 to 620, that was our right Dharma period. Maybe I think for me that was quite long already, because sometimes I just doze off, and yeah, so my period is much shorter than that. But but I think that's what Master said before. Right Dharma period is when we have the right Dharma in our heart. Master also said before that Buddha birthday is not just on that day, but when we have a good thoughts generated in our hearts, that is Buddha's birthday. So I think in that same way, every day is a right Dharma period, as long as we diligently listen to Master's teaching and put into practice in our daily life. So best wishes to all brothers and sisters. That's all work on this path together. And I think that's any add-on. Thank you, Sister Jing. Please take over.
感恩 brother, 感恩 Master De Huang, Sister Jing, and Brother Ping. Maybe we are thinking, if possible, we wish to play the prayer song.
Sure.
Send our prayers to Taiwan's families, those affected by the flood. Okay, we will share the screen. Everyone palms together.感恩.
May we pass on to all these on through wisdom deep and bright of your endless reign that will guide us. We are may we join our hands as one. Spread the seeds of grace now. Nurture wisdom evermore. Let us live all united with one heart. Let us do our faith may there be no silence.
Gan everyone, Gan Master De Huang, Brother Yo Ping, Sister Su Jing, and everyone. Sorry for that. For sharing lots of life wisdom. Oh, okay. Also, Gan to Brother Orange for sharing today. Thank you, Pusa. Thank you, everyone, for your presence today. Hope that each of us could sustain the Dharma joy and take in another piece of Masters and Hualian's love to our life. Let us please make 3 vows to the Buddha and Master Cheng Yen as we depart to apply this teaching in our daily lives. Let us pay our respects to our teachers of life, universal truth. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Sifu who could join us today. Kanan, everyone.